Welcome to the show.
Mic check, mic check, mic check.
It's really nice production.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Infusion Breakdown Show. Got Mr. Bryan Carey to my left. Got Mr. Desmond Tillman to my right. I'm Joshua Freeman. How you guys doing?
Lovely.
You guys are good?
Yeah, bro.
Yes, sir.
It's what is it, Sunday? It's Sunday?
Yeah.
What y'all get into this Sunday, man?
Same old workout. Catch up on the week. We'll get ready for the week, man.
You ain't do nothing creative this Sunday?
Define creative. Edit a video. Is that creative enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's creative?
That's good enough.
What video you edit?
My channel, the video games, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I also edit the, I have a movie review too I was editing too. But we have a good discussion for you guys today, as always, of course. The question we have, what's so funny, dude? But why do people cheat in relationships? What do you guys think? Remember, comment below, let us know, okay? So, who?
You know, I thought this discussion would have been like really, really good if we would have had like a female guest for this one. Cause I don't know if y'all like ever were a part of the conversations where it was like men and women cheat for different reasons. So I feel like it would be really impactful at some point if we do, if this topic resurfaces, to have like a female guest, just to preface everything. Because I think that we can provide like just a general understanding of it, of why people cheat, but to have, you know, both sides of the, you know, spectrum come in and provide different insights, I think it sparks a very thought-provoking conversation. But that doesn't mean we're not going to provide one, because I think we're going to do pretty damn good. But
Sure. No, that's not a bad idea, though.
so what's up? Why people cheat
Do you
in
not wanna go
relationships?
first?
Not in.
You not want to go first?
No, I'll go first, sure.
Oh, okay.
So I'll preface this with saying that I really don't know. You have to ask somebody who's done it, why they did it. But we can sit here and hypothesize. I do think that ultimately it boils down to a lack of respect for their partner, their significant other, because you're doing something and you're behaving in a way that compromises the nature of the relationship. And if you truly respected the person, you wouldn't behave that way.
Okay.
I think that's the foundation of it.
Just lack of respect.
Yeah, male or female.
Gotcha.
Because a lot of people, when they bring gender into the argument, they'll say men cheat because like it's physical and it's not necessarily that they have emotions tied to it. And then women, they do it when they're emotionally checked out of the relationship and they transition to another one. That's part of that discussion that I participated in. That's what the conclusion was. But without that foundation of respect, it opens the door for those things to happen, for you to even consider those options. Versus if you really respected the person, if you were no longer happy in the relationship, you would just call it quits. You would tell the person, you know what, this isn't working for me anymore, and leave them like that. You wouldn't compromise their emotional stability and just send them on that pattern. Because those things, like, people are really negligent when it comes to handling somebody else's feelings, because you have the potential to shape someone else's reality, their life, for years to come. And some people never recover from it. Like, it's not a small issue when you're dealing with somebody else's mental well-being. And I feel like they don't take it as seriously as it should. We have lack of respect. That's my answer.
Okay. I would say the main reason people cheat is because either they're unhappy with their current situation, something with what you were saying. They're basically either unhappy with their current situation and they don't have the guts to end the relationship. But I don't think, I feel like you were saying that they will always end it, but there's people who won't always end the relationship just because they're either not really unhappy. Well, I guess, either unhappy, they won't necessarily end the relationship due to a variety of factors, though.
That's convenience.
You said what?
That's convenience.
Why you say that?
What you're describing, I feel like, so give me a scenario in which that will play out.
a person wouldn't leave.
Yeah.
I know when I was younger, I would definitely hesitate to actually leave someone if I was unhappy, especially because I always felt that need of, not really need, but I always felt that
fear of abandonment.
the fear of abandonment and that fear
Right.
of what if they actually did get their act together? We could have
Right.
lived happily forever after, something
Exactly.
like
That safety blanket. They provided that stability for you. That was something that you were comfortable with. That was convenience, because you always had a backup plan. If the other one didn't work out, you always had that one to go back to. That's what I mean by convenience.
that. Okay. But yeah, I just feel people cheat because they're either unhappy with their current situation and or people's actually human nature kicks in and they begin to actually do more what they really are, and that's become selfish and want more of what they already have. Just in current situation, just in actual example, like say for instance, like someone who would break the law to get more money, just something in that situation, just as an example. But I feel that people's human nature, they will want more even if the situation is completely fine. And this, I feel it definitely goes to men more, because I feel we've been privileged throughout history in relationships, we've been privileged throughout history to be that leader and be that alpha male and everything like that. But with women, I feel it's mostly because they're unhappy. Basically, a little bit what you was talking about. They feel disconnected in a relationship, but I feel they're mostly unhappy. But I do believe that there's more women that are becoming like more alpha male type because of like the times they're realizing they're worth more and everything like that. So I do feel there's more women that's cheating more because of the leadership aspect, I guess you could say. But
I would confirm what you're saying, but I would say it's because of the dependency that women are now more independent.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to go to.
Yeah, not necessarily like the role of taking leadership in a relationship, but there's a certain way you behave when you depend on someone versus that you don't. You're much likely to be yourself and actually voice your opinions, your thoughts, your actions when you don't have to, or your well-being isn't tied to that person's well-being or what their opinion is.
Yeah. So I definitely do feel there's more women that's cheating more in that aspect because of that independence, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, men and women do cheat for different reasons, but they can definitely cheat for the same reasons. Yeah, that's what I feel.
I'm gonna go somewhere along the same lines, but I'm gonna say it's more of a character flaw. And the reason why I say it's more of a character flaw is because of what Bryan said. There's an acknowledgement of when you get in a relationship how your emotions impact someone else's and vice versa. And I think that when you get in a relationship, and I don't think that this is looked at enough, it's a responsibility. It's not just the highs and lows. It's like everything. It's more than the highs and lows, because you also got to think, like you also said, emotionally, how you have the potential to shape, someone's future. As big as that sounds, a lot of, trust issues that can stem from a relationship can stem, and show itself in their personal life, as far as whether it's work, whether it's parenthood, whatever it may be. Your relationship has the ability to define you more than just what you are in a relationship. So I say character flaw because I think it's just a lack of, and I'm not gonna say just a lack of responsibility, but it's a lack of acknowledgement, and then it's also I just had a thought. What was I about to say? Damn. Lack of responsibility, lack of acknowledgement, and then
I don't want to interrupt your thought, but
Commitment?
no, it's not even commitment. Oh, there it goes. And then it's a lack of just self-awareness in the sense of adequacy, to where you're always feeling like you're looking for. I say lack of self-sufficiency as far as inadequacy, because when people get in a relationship and they're looking for someone to fulfill them as a person, they're more than likely willing to test the waters with someone else, because the person that they with might not be fulfilling them the way that they have been looking to be fulfilled. but that person might be fulfilling, other aspects of the relationship. So it might be that one reoccurring thing that pushes it to like, I'm tired of dealing with this. Like mentally, I'm tired of dealing with it, but I'm not going to say anything just yet. And then you find yourself and, flirting with coworkers, flirting with people at the club, flirting with people online, and then it grows to something bigger. And in that person that, you're communicating with, you're looking to see them fulfill what you feel the relationship isn't satisfying you in. Like the relationship is satisfying you everywhere but in this one thing, so you seek to find that one thing. And then you fulfill it that way.
Then you lose the other things that you have.
And you lose exactly. So that's where really self-awareness, responsibility, and then the character flaw all tie in together, because to be happy in a relationship and to be committed in a relationship, you have to know yourself. If you don't know yourself, then you have no business being in a relationship, because you're never going to be looking in the right place for what it is that you need to feel fulfilled. Because what you need to feel fulfilled should not define you as that person. And I feel like when you're looking for the relationship to fulfill and define you as a person, then that's when you're more likely to experience infidelity, and you're willing to partake in infidelity. So, I think it's a lot of things. I don't think there's just one thing that pushes people to cheat. It's a plethora of things, but I think that the most common one is, just lack of, self-awareness, lack of knowing yourself.
I think that's a really important point you just made, because I feel like all relationships to a degree are circumstantial transactions. It's because there's a need and there's something that's fulfilling that need. And so once that need is no longer being fulfilled, even if it's just for a given moment, if someone's not deeply rooted and understand their self-worth or the other person's self-worth, they're going to seek that elsewhere.
So are you saying that people cheat because they don't know each other?
No,
I mean they don't know who they are.
Yeah. Because I feel like if you know who you are as a person, then you know what you're capable of. And when you have that commitment, that bondage with somebody, they are
What if it's that I won't say standard white suburban male, but that male that abuses his wife and cheats on his wife, and he thinks he just does it because he's the leader of the he can say he does what he.
That's a piss poor example.
Because she's dependent on him.
That's a reason why I don't like that example, because that's just a textbook definition of the patriarchal society.
Yeah, but how does he not know each other though?
How does he not know himself?
Yeah, how does he not know himself? That's because that's what you're trying to say, right? He does not know himself. That's why he's cheating.
If you're living up to what society standards are, then you're not living up to your standard.
What is society standards? The regular marriage, patriarchal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like that I mean, I'm not gonna say that that's obvious, but I think that
You say he's not living up to society standards.
No, he's living up to society standards. Like he's living up to what the definition of a husband is based off of society's standards than his own. Like to be frank, there is a lot of woman bashing and a lot of misogynistic values associated with the patriarchal society. So to be in a patriarchal marriage is to view your wife not on the same level. So if you're not in a relationship to where you view the woman you chose to marry for the rest of your life on the same level, then you don't have a genuine need for her. You might have a need for what she's good at, but you don't have a need for a fulfillment. Because if you had a need for fulfillment, then it would be one of those things where you recognize she strengthens your weaknesses and vice versa. Mm-hmm. That's like I think the ideal relationship, the one that we see more common, because you do have your 40 and 50-year-old marriages that stem from when you had the patriarchal society, and not to say when, like, we still don't live in one today, but I mean,
so is it still the norm?
No, today it's not. Today it's not, and the reason why I can show you it's not is based off of what your standard
I was thinking in today, like today's society.
You think it is?
What? No, I was talking about the white male. I was talking about the male, the who thinks he's the alpha dog and just cheats because he cheats. I was talking about in today's society. But you're saying that I feel like you don't understand what I'm saying.
No.
You understand?
Do you feel like I?
I understand what you're saying, and even in the scenario that you're listing, I don't think that he's cheating just because he thinks that he's the alpha dog. I think it's because of the dependency that I just talked about earlier. Because if you consider yourself on a higher platform, if you actually are of a higher status, and you're just using that person, like you said, not as a compliment to you, but because you need like an assistant who can do something for you, you can benefit from that, and they might mutually benefit a little bit. It's a dependent relationship. It's a parasite.
No, okay.
Like, I get what you're saying, but I think of it more in terms of like the old school, because we have evolved a lot in a short amount of time. Like, I think people are expecting like 100% perfection as far as equal rights, but I think you also have to look at like how far we've come in the past 70 years. Like, we're not anywhere near 100% equality, but we've done a damn good job of what it was in 1920.
So when you say patriarchal society, are you saying that cheating is part of that?
I think it's obvious that cheating is part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was about to ask you if cheating was becoming the norm, but it's obviously, I guess you could say, it
No.
was the norm already.
Yeah. Like, cheating is nothing new. I mean, easiest way you can look at it is, man, like, look at, and not to throw like the older women under the bus, but think about how many.
When you say the norm, you saying that most relationships have cheating in it, or it's just more a lot of prevalent in society? What do you mean as far as the norm exactly?
You asked if I thought cheating was a norm.
Yes.
And I said no.
Oh, I think you said okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you okay.
No. I don't think it's the norm. I don't think.
But you
I said, your question was, do I think cheating is the norm? And I said no, because I don't think the patriarchal society is kind of like what the norm is now. I think we see a lot more diversity.
But it was the norm.
It was the norm.
Okay.
So what I'm describing is what was.
Okay.
And then I'm also trying to describe what is at the same time.
Okay.
Because the question itself requires like a understanding of both, of what was and what is. So. Yeah.
I think what's leading to the rise of, I guess, because like the rise of women becoming more independent, and then also you look back over history. So when the first contraceptive, like birth control, not the condoms, but the first oral contraceptive came about in 1960, prior to that, a lot of times pregnancy, you were at a higher risk of, with sex, you were much more prone to being pregnant. So then that risk is now downsized, is now eliminated almost, because more women are aware of birth control. They're now practicing that. So now they're able to not have to deal with those consequences. They want to have sex.
You think that's part of it too?
It plays a role in it, yeah. Because prior to then, the risks were much higher for a woman back then than they are now. If you knew that you were having sex and there was of course they had condoms back then. So let's just say there was a 10% chance you might get pregnant. That's much higher than what it is today, given the advancements we have in like oral contraception, and then like the implants and all the different kinds of methods.
So are you saying cheating is becoming the norm?
I'm saying why it may be more prevalent in women in particular.
Oh, and just in women. Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's becoming the norm, because I don't think anybody is actually like an advocate for or actually proud of cheating. Like society, like everybody inherently, we know that even if people who do it, we know that it's wrong because you hide it. People only hide and lie about things when they fear.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about it?
Nah, I don't think you can like classify something as a norm, because one thing I think every generation goes through the same exact thing. We just go through it in a different way. And I feel like every time we go through it in a different way, we shun the younger generation of going through the same exact thing that you went through. And I think that would actually...
I was thinking it in the case of just like the amount of people in their relationships are cheating more.
I don't think it's any... I don't think it's any different than what it was before. But I don't think that the factors are the same. like the factor before was like the patriarchal society,
Mm-hmm.
and women were, you know, shamed for being, you know, sexually, you know, liberated. Whereas today, like, if a woman has sex with how many ever people she wants to, then that's her business. So I think today it potentially is a bit more like accepted, but that's just, you know, what the factors are now.
Okay. I got a yes. I got a sure anyway. But anything else you want to say about it? Did your stance change from you can't answer to agreeing with Desmond?
I did answer.
I know, I'm messing with you. This guy, he's easy. But we're going to wrap up this discussion for this week. What do you guys think, though? Why do people cheat in relationships? Let us know, okay? Anything else you guys want to have anything else to say?
Album of the week.
Yeah, you got an album week for us?
Oh shit, it is my turn. We did do last week. What have I been listening to? Oh man, album of the week would be Acid Rap by Chance the Rapper. It's actually like a mixtape from like 2013, but that's one of like the albums I listen to a lot during my downtimes throughout my later teenage years, early 20s. So I think it's a really good album to, you know, smoke a lot of weed too. I did. I'm gonna just be honest, man. It's a really good album. So,
But you didn't do acid.
nah.
I was about to say it's a good album to do acid to. But hey, you heard it here. Check it out. But we see you guys next week. Peace.